So today I'm going to do a tutorial on how I curl my leave out. So some people ask me, actually a lot of people ask me, like, how do you get such full, nice, thick hair if you have naturally, if you were born with like flat, just straight, limp hair? So it's a weave, and so there's no way you can get this amount of volume and amazing curl patterns and everything with a perm or curling it. You know, you can do like rag curls and all these different things, but it's only gonna last for a very short amount of time, and it's not gonna look as amazing as this. Now this is Boho Exotic Studio hair for starters, and you'll see like this looser curl pattern in here is a 8mm curl, and the tighter one is a 6mm curl, and then that's my hair right there. So the 6mm and the 8mm curl pattern blend together, and the owner of Boho Exotic Studios, Diana Monique, shout out, she kind of, you know, like recommends doing a blend of curl patterns instead of the same one, because if you have just like uniform curls, it doesn't look as natural, because everybody's hair that curls naturally has a different curl pattern from the top to the back, etc. So there are two different curl patterns in here, and then my leave out is right here. You want to have as little leave out as possible, and again, this is for people who either do not have curls naturally or who might have like a looser curl pattern than you actually want to wear. So you want to rock a tighter curl pattern than what you have growing out of your head, whether it's because your hair texture or curl pattern changed due to something like cancer or aging, or whether you just weren't blessed with curls to begin with, like me. So this is my leave out, and I'll show you. I'm going to deconstruct it here for you. So I really have a very small amount of leave out, and you can see the track, the first track right there. So that's the weft, that's the weave. And you can do the same process of leave out and texturizing with wigs as well as weaves. So I'm just gonna take paddle brush and kind of brush this out. So this is how I curl this curl pattern. I'll show you actually by just adding a little bit of Pro Gel. So if I don't have time or I don't want to wash it at night, I will just go ahead and add some Pro Gel into this little bit of leave out, which is my natural hair. Voila, it's going to, once it gets wet, go straight. And, which is of course not what you want to stay, but we're going to curl this. So you need some kind of product that holds, like the Pro Gel. And then once you have that, you either need a, you know, basically like a rag curl, which is just a piece of cloth that's sewn. You can see there's just a seam right there. You can get also a hair tie. So this is gonna be more for like the 8mm curl pattern. This is gonna be more for like the 6mm curl pattern. If you just cut the hair tie and take, or your other things, so you can take the hair tie and just start rolling the ends. I do mine under. And make sure that you get all that hair, because you definitely do not want any random straight hair. So you're gonna roll that all the way up like that, and then just tie it in just one time, and just wrap your hair up and go to bed. And when you wake up, it will be dry and will have curled. Now I'm going to show you how to do it with the piece of fabric, which is again a very thin piece of fabric. and you're just going to, let me do a little slower. So you kind of like get the ends on there, tuck them in with your fingernails, and roll all the way up. And I roll it under because it just looks more natural. It like gets the curl tighter against the scalp, I feel like, if you do it this way. Then you're going to tie it, and again, you're going to just wrap your hair all the way back and go to bed. And when you wake up, you're gonna take that out and it will be nice and curly. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what it's like once it dries, once you wake up and are ready to take that out and then blend it in with your natural hair. Now, just a side note, you leave out two things, like you want to match the texture and you also want to match the color. So you notice that my roots are the same color as the bottom of the wefted hair, and then if you notice when I take it out, or when it was out before, sorry, my nose is just itching today. That's annoying. The like color of the middle part of it matches as well as the end. So it kind of goes from a really dark brown to at the roots to kind of a caramely color to almost a caramel blonde on the ends. And so my natural hair is dyed that exact same color as I dyed these wefts. And the wefts came in just a black, like a natural black, like a 1B. And then I lifted the hair just with, actually, I don't think I have any left, but it's called Prism Highlights. I just get it at the beauty supply store. And then I put a violet toner on it to take out some of the orange so that you can see it's a nice kind of caramel color or a rose gold or whatever you want to call that color. It's kind of like a blend of a couple different colors in there to make it just look natural, you know, so that it's not like one solid color lifted or whatever. And I kind of cut it a little bit shorter in the back just to give it a cute little taper for the summer. So again, the two steps, you want to make sure that you color your hair to match the weave, or if you're doing a wig, you can do the same thing. Color your hair to match, the leave out has to match if you're gonna blend it. And then also, you're gonna want to match the texture. So if you have naturally curly hair, of course, you're going to want to flat iron it to match a straight weave. So it's kind of like doing the reverse. You're going to, if you have naturally straight hair, you're going to want to curl it or texturize your hair, the leave out, in order to match the curly weave. So I'll be back in the morning and we're going to take this out and see how it curled. Okay, so it's the morning and this is how I wrap my hair at night. Basically just tie a scarf around one time and shake it out. And I also I put a little headband around that leave out part just because it kind of helps keep it there. So it's morning. Sorry, I have bags under my eyes. I pretty much always have bags under my eyes because it's like, welcome to the 40s. That's what happens. So we're just gonna like unroll this, and you can see that again, my hair is the same color as the weave, and that is going to be a very similar curl pattern. And then I usually just kind of, you know, like imagine if this was all your hair growing out of your head, you want to style it in a way that really kind of blends in with the weave. And just kind of pull it together with your fingernails and I use my fingernails to just kind of like put, I don't know, just like put some pressure on the hair and just kind of push it into the weave and comb it through with your fingernails. And you want it to really blend. Now you can see like in this little area, you can see a little bit of scalp back there. If that bothers you, if you feel like, oh, you know, I can't have a little bit of scalp showing because it's then going to, you know, maybe somebody's going to be able to see that track back there, then sometimes I will just use a little bit of eyeshadow, like a darker eyeshadow, just to kind of touch up or, you know, darken the scalp just a little bit to make that go away so that it all blends. And then you want to definitely, like, you can spritz your hair. I think my hair looks pretty good today. So you're gonna want to you know, kind of refreshen those curls if they look like they need it. And you can kind of pull apart the hair a bit. Now you don't want to spray this on your leave out or your curls are going to disappear, because if you get your hair wet at all, it's going to of course return to its natural texture, which in this case is straight. So kind of refreshing the ends of the weave, and then you can spray that, pump it up on your roots part of your leave out and kind of where it's pulling together with the weave. And then get your curling iron if needed, and just kind of, you can just in a couple sections just kind of train that hair to connect with the weave so it just blends even more. Because you really want it to look like all of this fabulous hair is going out of your head, so that people are not talking to your hair. Like if they can see a track, you'll notice people like looking at the track and, you know, being distracted by that instead of actually just talking to you as a person, like trying to decode your hair and figure it out, which of course everybody tries to do that with me, but that's another story. So just go ahead and put a couple, you can see like just a couple little waves, and that just unifies the curl patterns from the 6mm and the 8mm, and then what you have going on with your leave out. And yeah, you're good to go. And you can enjoy having the hair that really suits your personality and your spirit. And again, this is also just a really easy style. Any kind of weave is just really easy because you wake up and you've got the perfect hair. Even if your face looks tired, at least your hair is perfect. And you know, a lot of people kind of pass judgment like, oh, you must hate your hair if you don't wear your natural hair out. Not everybody that wears a weave or braids hates their hair. It just sometimes is just so much easier maintenance. Literally, it's 5 minutes at night to twist up that little piece with either your piece of fabric or your hair tie, just to like twist up your leave out. 5 minutes, you go to bed, you wake up. This took probably less than 5 minutes, like 2 minutes, you know, and then you're done. And you move on with your day. So I think it's not just a choice of natural versus weave or whatever. It's also like a choice of how you want to spend your time every single morning. Do you want to spend your time styling your hair every single morning for 30 minutes or half an hour, or washing, conditioning, blow drying, curling, or do you want to just kind of get up and go and focus your time and attention on things other than your hair? So just some thoughts. And again, these videos are just sharing what I do, sharing my tips and tricks for how I do my hair and how I do other people's hair. And you can like it, you can love it, you can hate it, but hopefully at the end of the day, it's helpful to somebody. Okay, so also let's talk products, because we're talking about styling the leave out, but also you're gonna want to wash your hair, especially if it's a good quality of hair that is like Boho Exotic Studios has, or a similar brand. You're gonna want to be able to wash that, and I use Coconut Cowash, As I Am. This is also what both of my sons that are currently living at home, Franklin and Langston, use in their hair. It's a cleansing conditioner, so you don't need shampoo, you just need that, and it will actually cleanse and moisturize at the same time. Then after that, while it's actually still wet, and sometimes even just to freshen in the morning when even if it's not been wet or washed, just to kind of freshen the curls, I use Shea Moisture, Coconut and Hibiscus Hold and Shine Moisture Mist. Then for that little leave out, to texturize that leave out before you roll it up in either the red curl or the hair tie, I use Proclaim Pro Gel or Pro Styling Gel, Protein Styling Gel, the black kind, because again, my roots are dark and so is the bottom of the weft, where if you have like bleach blonde, like platinum blonde hair, you don't want to use this one, you want to use the clear one. But this like gives a little bit of a nice reddish brown tinge to it. And then for holding, because my hair will fall out of the curl pattern, the leave out's gonna fall out if I do not put some kind of a holding product. So on my leave out, especially at the roots, I usually put the Pump It Up Spritz, because it holds it and really keeps it all day, keeps it in the curl pattern all day. So I use the Super Hold Pump It Up Gold, and this is a product that probably a lot of people are familiar with already. To brush out the hair, I use a paddle brush while it's still wet on wash day. So I will wash it with the Coconut Co-Wash, then brush it out, then add the Shea Moisturizer Spritz or spray to it. This is like moisturizer and hold spray. And then also add a little bit of the Pro Gel, and then just like brush it all the way out into its nice curl pattern. And then when I undo the leave out, I will spritz it. And if you happen to have made a mistake on your leave out, you can kind of like take a curling iron upside down like that and just kind of blend your leave out in with the weave hair, like pull it together. This is not on, but like a really small curling iron like this one, if you have a little bit of spritz, don't put too much or it'll be like really shiny in a spot, but just a little bit of spritz, and then kind of turn this upside down, and it will kind of like create, you can kind of just bump it in a few, you like kind of pull it together with the leave out and your weave. So I hope that helps. Again, Coconut Co-Wash and Shea Moisture, Hibiscus and Coconut Shine and Hold, and then the Pro Gel, and also the Pump It Up. And those are the 4 products that I use, as well as of course just good old H2O, because water is of course really important. You don't want to brush out dry hair, so you want to make sure that you brush it out when it's wet, unless of course you want, you know, your hair to, you want to accentuate the fullness, and then if you pick it out or brush it out dry, it's going to, you know, get bigger and bigger. So you can, and I always prefer to use a pick, a metal pick, not the plastic ones, but like a metal pick to just kind of lift it if you want it to be a little bit fuller. So I hope that helps. Also, my nails are the press-on nails from Walgreens, $7.99, and they are Kiss nails. This is a little set. The middle ones are kind of shiny, and these are kind of glittery, and then these are just, they're just kind of pink spring colors. They tend to really work well and last well for lots of washing, lots of wear and tear, and that's what I do with art and with hair and with kids and toddler life. So I'm constantly moving and washing my hands and doing things with my hands, so they get a lot of friction. And one other side note, if at the end of the day your leave out just fails and, you know, say it just, you woke up and it wasn't all the way dry or something went wrong and it just does not match, then just kind of like tuck it up underneath of the hair, somewhere in there, and put on a pair of sunglasses up there and just call it a day. You know, don't stress about it. You will get it after a few tries, but you can use sunglasses. You can also, of course, use those nice cloth headbands to conceal your leave out if for some reason you just don't have time, or it just didn't work out well when you were trying to blend your textures or colors. So sunglasses, headbands, bobby pins, all these things kind of come in handy if you just don't have the perfect day for blending your leave out. But I hope this tutorial helps. And again, if you were not born with the hair that suits your personality and your lifestyle, you can always buy it. And the best hair that I would recommend, no pun intended, but best hair, Boho Exotic Studios, is really on bohoexoticstudios.com, and you can follow them on Instagram as well and just see all the beautiful hair that they do for celebrities and for just average people. It is a little bit expensive to get a bundle. These two bundles I got on Black Friday one year for the 6mm. The next year I waited and got the 8mm. And so you can like wait for their Black Friday sales, or you can sign up with a VIP membership. There's so many different options, but they have beautiful curl patterns. And what I really love about the curl patterns is it's not just something that you're ordering in the mail that you have no idea what's coming. They go by millimeters. So you can get a 4mm, 6mm, 8mm, 20mm, and that just kind of tells you like how big is the curl or how small is the curl, so that you can get the exact curl pattern that you are looking for that really matches, you know, how you feel, who you are, your career, your vibe, all that kind of stuff. Because hair at the end of the day is confidence, and I believe every woman has the right to feel confident and to feel beautiful. So go get your best hair and use this tutorial if you have either straighter hair or like wavy hair that's not as tight as the curl pattern that you want. You can also use this tutorial as a form of a twist out, because really that's what that is a like if you had hair that was even curlier than this, if you wanted to still wrap it on the cloth or on the hair tie to get that same 8mm or 6mm type of curl pattern, you can still do that. And just make sure again that it is all the way dry when you take it out of the hair tie or the fabric, so that it holds. Okay, and last but not least in this video, I just want to mention, you know, I do know that I have a 5 head. It's always been that way. And a lot of people give me grief for somehow like I moved my hairline back by weaving and braiding, and that's not true. I have always had this really high forehead. It's not like my hair started down here. It's always been super high. Both of my biological kids have the same super high forehead, and it just is what it is. I'm okay with it. I've come to peace with it. It's just really up there. And hey, you know, back in ancient times, especially in Egypt, there are different cultures that have actually suggested that having high forehead is a sign of royalty. So I just kind of like roll with that and try and ignore all the haters that want to say I have no edges and I have no, you know, hairline and my hairline's all pushed back. But if you look closely, you can definitely see that my hairline is, you know, my hair is actually thick at my hairline. It just happens to be that that's where my hairline has started since I was born. So yeah, just a side note, just because I know somebody's gonna try and chime in and say that don't follow my methods because it's gonna ruin your hairline. But you know, some of us just have high foreheads. That's just how it is. So embrace it.